So, welcome, bronies, to the FOB Equestria Podcast, the official podcast of FOB Equestria. And as you can notice, I am not Spangle. I am instead Josh Scorcher, your head of FOB Equestria. And we have with us Navron. Say hi, Navron.
Hello.
We also have Saunterhoof.
You stole my thunder, you son of a bitch.
Well, excuse me, princess. And now we also have Silvermane.
Hello, every pony.
And we also, I think that's about it.
Ah, okay, all right. See, I see how it is. Okay.
Sorry, if you're just not important enough. If you would actually post the things I would tell you to post, you would actually, be important.
Oh, okay, all right. You know what?
I broke him.
I believe that's where you say I Staff Sergeant.
Oh, wow. Well, he didn't give me any orders, so why would I say I Staff Sergeant?
Well, he's not a sergeant either. Or Staff Sergeant, I should say.
No, I am.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
Tweaks
happened?
Tweaks the Staff Sergeant. I'm just a corporal.
How
Yeah, I've been a staff sergeant since I've been part of the FOB, dude.
Where have you been? Oh yeah, speaking of Army Cats, you guys need to keep better tabs on your guys because I found a couple Army Cats wandering around at a GameStop on Christmas Eve in Utes.
Oh Lord. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If anyone is listening from the military, and I think a lot of you are, you don't wear your duty uniform on when you're off duty. Durr.
Yeah, the Marine Corps is a little bit more strict about that. Oh,
No,
you're
they
wearing
are
your...
strict about it too. It's just people are stupid and they don't. Look, the problem is not that we're dumber. It's that we have more people. Therefore, we have more dirtbags that get into it and think, oh, I'm going to go to the bar in uniform and get free drinks. And if I catch you, so help me God, I will slam fuck your soul into the next plane of existence.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't think
speaking of planes, I really hate how you guys keep getting bumped up to first class just because you show up in utilities.
They shouldn't. Well, wait, no, technically, if they are traveling on official orders, then they can. But usually, you're not.
That has never happened to me ever, for some reason.
Airport. It's just I'm so envious that you guys get to do that.
Well, no, I think the problem is that it isn't Tweak that you guys have, stupider people or anything. I think the problem is that the Army has, some exceptions. With the Marine Corps, it's just, if you so much as breathe outside the gate near your camis, you will be thrown into the brig. Sleeves up or down.
Well, no, and then the problem with the Army is that we are tightening up the standards, but in the wrong ways. We'll still I can tell you firsthand that there are so many knuckleheads and, mouth breathers coming into basic training. But these days, if you have tattoos that go past, the PT shirt, they'll kick you out.
I forgot the term mouth breather.
We all know that tattoos are the number one indicator of a dirtbag soldier. It has nothing to do with performance. It's how you look.
I thought it was lack of wearing utility belts.
Yeah, speaking of different standards, you see this across the branches. It's the order for the haircuts across the branches is the same. It's just each branch interprets them differently.
Yes, it's a lot like religion. Well, they all says the same thing, but how are we going to interpret it today?
Yeah, it's not gonna push my beliefs on you or anything. It's just that I feel that as a Christian, it's as long as you have the fundamental belief that Jesus died for your sins and all that jazz, that you're fine. It's just that specifics are up to interpretation, and they're not too important.
Yep,
So hey,
you're going to
ponies.
hell.
So ponies, right? Ponies, right?
Yeah,
Am I right?
I was wondering when we get to that.
Ponies?
Exactly like ponies. It's a religion.
Rainbow
Faustism.
Dash died for your sins.
Celeste. Wait, Luna got banished to the moon for your sins.
So Luna is the devil.
I thought Faust died for our sins.
No, she's still kicking around.
Died inside,
Yeah, but you've
maybe.
seen what she's done recently.
Oh.
That's harsh.
I'm sorry. I watched 2 or 3 of them, and I was pretty meh.
So are we recording a podcast about ponies or something?
Yes, we
let's
are.
do this. First topic.
Our first topic is supposed to be basically the season thus far. What have our strong points, weak points been? What do we think is the best episode? How does it compare to season 3, et cetera, et cetera?
Okay, so the number one strong point that I think we can all agree on so far is the animation.
Holy crap.
The DHX team
Unbelievable.
has really just been up in their game with every single episode. I mean, you saw how fluid the animation was in Princess Twilight Sparkle, but then you get to like flake to the finish with that shading colors, and just everything is just, every time I watch a new episode, I find something new eye-popping. That's like, wow, these guys are, wow, dude.
Not
They're
going to
try
spoil it,
different
but the
POVs
first the first 10 seconds, something like that happens in today's episode. Not going to spoil it, but yeah.
Yes.
So do we even know if they're using Flash anymore? Because originally they said that they were like using some form of Flash, but with the kind of shading and the rotational views that they're doing, it's hard. It makes me hard to believe that they're still using Flash. They have to be using some sort of rendering, right?
No, I'm pretty sure they are still using Flash. The problem is, the thing is, they have a little more money now, so they can put a little more effort and time into it.
Apparently they have new puppets too, so
Yeah,
they'll be able to move them better.
effort and time, considering the big, long season waits.
Well, there's also the fact that they no longer have to do a movie to focus like half their attention and resources on.
There was no movie. No movie ever happened.
Also,
What?
they
Yeah, I
don't have to do
I didn't
letters,
think Equestria Girls
and
was that bad.
there's new writers this season too that are really awesome so far.
Yeah, that surprised me with, I think it was it Flight to the Finish or was it Daring Don't? That was the first appearance of a brand new author.
Actually, that was Castlemania. That was a different,
right.
that was a new person.
And well, I gotta say,
Yeah, that's listed as Josh Harbour, and then Dave Pulaski did Daring Don't, and then
Dave
Ed
Pulaski.
Valentine did Flight to the Finish. I know Merriwether was on here somewhere. I know he might have done Bats. I guess there's kind of a debate whether that was mainly Megan McCarthy or Merriwether, but I guess Betsy Gowan, Charlotte Fulton, all of those names are brand new. Like,
no,
I think.
Charlotte Fulton's been on there before, and Dave Polsky did Feeling Pinky Keen, I think.
Season 1.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
see
did
it.
Feeling Pinky Keen. He did Over a Barrel. He did
Which
Too
was
many
that-
pinkies.
he also did Too Many Pinkie Pies. He
Which
really
was
loves
that-
writing for Pinkie
yeah,
Pie.
that
I
was-
love his Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, because that was the big shocker. Because you look at the season 1 episodes he did, Feeling Pinky Keen and Over a Barrel. Well, I loved Over a Barrel. Those were really, when people look back at, okay, what are the weak points of season 1? Feeling Pinky Keen and Over a Barrel both come up. So to see him in this season just slam out the gate with this really, really high quality script, it's like, wow, okay, I guess Dave Polsky can write a good episode.
No, it's
Well,
like, the thing is that Dave Polsky, he writes great comedy. He's a comedic writer. He used to be on South Park.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Well, holy
Yeah,
crap.
it's like I love Dave Polsky's comedy. It's like everything he does makes me laugh. He writes the funniest episodes.
Yes, and another thing I love about the season is I think in season 3, Pinkie Pie was getting a little too over the top in that they took her, a little too far. In this season so far, she's been really she's still, insane and Pinkie Pie, but she is not so much a caricature of a cartoon character. She wasn't in season 3, she was a little more the stereotypical, random crazy, comedy character. But they
And
really
maniac.
they toned her down a little bit in season 4, and it's been really, really cool to see.
See, I tend to disagree with that. I think they've actually made her a little bit even more off the wall than she's ever been. I think she's gotten a little bit too extreme. It's almost like it's a Deus Ex Pinkie Pie at this point. But I still don't think it's a bad thing, but I'm not sure if that's a good thing from a writer's perspective, because I'm worried, it could become a kind of Deus Ex style thing where you just rely on Pinkie Pie to, I don't know, pull a goddamn trumpet out of nowhere and save the world or something. Or, of course, know the ending to the script.
Hammerspace. All 6 of them have access to hammerspace. Do we not forget Rarity's access to pull a couch out of nowhere?
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess that's true.
It's like hammerspace. It's like when people say that Pinkie Pie is like this uber cartoon, has like cartoon superpowers and can break the fourth wall. It's like, no, that's just something that cartoon characters do.
Well,
That's just something that all cartoon characters do. And all the main 6 have had their moments. It's just for some reason Pinkie Pie got slapped with the label.
Well, I don't even think it's that. It's that she does it more than everyone else. Like, everyone else is within the first and second standard deviation of being a cartoon character. That, okay, Twilight's going to get hurt with an anvil, but it's going to be all right with just some bandage wrapping and everything else. And, somehow Rainbow Dash can fly faster than the speed of sound and pull like 6,000 Gs. But Pinkie Pie is like to the third standard deviation, where it's actually in the writing and the animation and the story that absolutely no one really understands what her power level is, because it's clearly over 9,000.
It's over 9,000.
Gotcha.
Okay, I was gonna hope that we could rise above that joke, but I guess we gotta kind of scrape the barrel there.
Yeah,
We are what we are.
I was pulling out
Sorry,
some Star
just
Fox
thought that between
64
us, I was
jokes
gonna take it.
yesterday.
It's actually been a while since I've heard the over 9,000 joke.
Well, I think again, looking back at Pinkie Pie, it's more that she's the character that, I don't know how accurate this is, but she would be the one that is most aware of the fact that she is in a cartoon. So when they need to do those really cartoon antics, they go to Pinkie Pie.
But now, here's a question for the development of Pinkie Pie. Is she actually, because when she has been shown, she's almost been very, very childlike. She's probably the most childlike besides Spike, I would argue.
I wouldn't go so far as to say as childlike. I'd go as far as to say she's a bit of honestly, she's a bit of an idiot.
No, I don't agree with that. I've always said that there is a really simplistic wisdom to Pinkie Pie. When you really look at her character and what she's about, all she cares about is making her friends smile. That's how she identifies herself, and how she interacts with the world is, how can I make my friends happy? And you look at that, you look at that and think, okay, well, yeah, that's really simple and childish. But then you realize that she is an adult. She's not just, well, with the occasional exception of when she's, playing with crayons when they're thinking of how to save the world, Princess Twilight Sparkle. But after that, it's like, she really is, she's not childish, she's simple. And simple doesn't mean bad.
Yeah, when I say...
I would like to point to Exhibit A, Mystery on the Friendship Express. She exhibited the worst forms of warped logic there. It was unbelievable. That's really the main reason why I think she's, a bit of an idiot.
Okay, but then remember at the end of the episode, she was the one that figured out that the other bakers ate their desserts.
Yeah, Twilight could have done the exact same thing. It's just that Twilight said, okay, I know what to do, but do you?
Well, and again, I think that points back to her character. When she first did it, she thought it was kind of a game. She thought, well, this has got to be, or it's got to be some over-the-top mystery, because that's why I read about her. That's why I watch in reading comic books or whatever. But then when she figured out that kind of this is a more realistic, she got down to business.
But no,
And it's going to be interesting to see
Not
how
really.
they treat her next week.
It's like when she saw the blue feather, it's like, I knew it was you, Gustav! It's like, Pinkie, you're an idiot.
See,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with the fact that she's an idiot. I think she's just a little simplistic sometimes.
My original comment was that she was childlike, and Tweak, what you're talking about is what I would refer to as childlike wisdom. Like, she plays this kind of role where she doesn't, I don't even know that she's the most immature, but I think she is the one that kids will most immediately relate to. And as such, I think that's affected her character a bit.
That's not to say I hate Pinkie Pie. I really like her. And in fact, I think that idiocy actually serves to further strengthen her character.
But this type of idiocy isn't like Ren and Stimpy style idiocy. This isn't the generic idiocy you saw throughout the 90s of just blatant stupidity is funny. This to me seems creative, or at least something you could associate with having a kid with a wild imagination. And Fluttershy is still a year older than Pinkie Pie too, so she's at least the younger one.
Fact.
All right.
You're welcome, Navy.
So I'll agree to disagree about Pinkie Pie. All right.
Okay, now I was thinking on the other biggest thing that's come across this season, and the one that's going to cause the most controversy, rustle the most jimmies, and destroy and annihilate the most headcanons, was we finally had a really in-depth look at Scootaloo.
Yeah,
And
that's definitely what I want to talk about.
My number one thing is God damn it, she lives in a house. She is not homeless. She is not an orphan. She has a family that loves her, that lets her put up posters, and she lives in a nice house.
Okay,
and
I'm
God
going to
damn
have
it,
to stop
she's
you
not a
right
orphan.
there. I'm going to have to stop you right there. All we know is that she lives in a building, all right? She's not homeless, but she could still be an orphan.
Okay, look, here's my big issue with that. I don't.
That would be pretty weird
I
for the
I
universe.
kind of understand why we do it, but for the life of me, why do so many bronies want her to be a homeless or be an orphan? Why are they like I go on like FinFiction and I type in comments talking about how she has a family, I get almost hate talking about, no, we've never seen that. She's an orphan. Like, okay, I get you wanted to have a closer relationship with Rainbow Dash, but why are you so against the idea of her having a loving family?
Honestly, I
I'm
think
not
it would be
I'm not
more
against the
interesting to
idea.
find
I'm
that
just
she was.
I know
saying
exactly
that we
why.
can't confirm anything.
Well, it goes to that thing of my only one of my only problems with bronies as far as headcanons go is that we latch onto things that are not so that I truly believe aren't conscious efforts of the writers. Like a good example.
Twilight Scepter.
Well, no, yeah, okay, we're not talking about memes here. Well, that was annoying as hell. What I'm talking about is more of a good example is the season 1, how there were not a whole lot of stallions in the background, and people automatically assumed, oh, well, there's got to be this huge, gender disparity, and that must lead to polyamorous, magical lesbian fart babies or whatever. And it's like, dude, it was cheap. They didn't have enough puppets to make male background characters.
It's still fun to read.
Well, okay, it's fun to think about, yes, but it's becoming one of those tropes that I really can't stand. Okay, but to turn this around on myself a little bit, talk about how upset I was that bronies are so all about Scootaloo not having a loving family. I happen to be a big fan of the headcanon, or the officially quote, or possibly canon now, that Scootaloo can't fly. Because I think that having her as a disabled character is a really cool thing. Because think about it. When was the last time in American cartoons when we had a character who was disabled and no one cared, and it was never really a big plot point? I would think it's like Garrett from Extreme Ghostbusters. Like,
actually,
I can name a few. There's
Yeah,
one of Dragon Tales that was in a wheelchair.
yeah, exactly.
well, okay, it's Dragon Tales. I mean, in which cartoon that had a large following, But
Dragon Tales is pretty popular on PBS.
It's PBS. That's like this antonym of popular. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I think it really would, as a really cool thing for the show, that she's disabled and no one ever calls mention to it because no one cares except for, oh God, those two. I think we all know who I'm talking about when I say those two.
I want their blood.
Well,
Yeah.
let's focus on Scootaloo for a minute. Then we'll get into DT and SS. I just realized she's named SS. All right, but
Lord Helmet.
But for Scootaloo, I was originally in the camp that I wanted her to actually learn how to fly and do all that stuff. But I think her episode actually changed my mind about that. Like all of a sudden, like I kind of just the way that it was demonstrated and presented. Like I'm okay with the idea of, okay, Scootaloo's not going to be able to learn how to fly, but she's going to be like some sort of excellent freaking scooter thing in the future. And I don't know, that episode itself, just in the way it was written, changed my mind about how I felt about that. So
when she was doing that, when she was like trying so hard just to fly, I related so much to that. I just wanted to scoop her up and hug her and tell her it was going to be okay.
My feels.
Scoot adorable.
Also,
That was
they did
the
a real good
episode
job
that
in the
actually
episode
made
of
me like
not
Scootaloo.
saying you're going to fly.
That episode really made me like Scootaloo.
But yes, the Silvermane.
She tries so
quick
hard,
the,
and yeah, she's not
Other
gonna.
two turned on her.
She's trying so hard.
Hang on,
and,
hang
yeah,
on, hang on,
she's
hang on.
Probably
Stop,
not gonna
stop,
make it because, well, she's
stop.
probably disabled.
Josh, stop.
What?
You and Silvermane were consistently over talking each other, so Josh, say your piece, and then we'll go to Silvermane. All right, 3.
Because I really
Yep.
really like that. This episode really made me like Scootaloo because she tries so hard, and yet she might be physically disabled and she might not be able to do it. That's a really tough lesson for some kids to learn, and that's a great lesson for kids to learn. So I'm kind of on board the whole let her be disabled, because sometimes putting your all into something won't make your dreams come true. That's a harsh lesson for kids to learn. But it's a great lesson for kids to learn.
Silver?
Yeah, I had 2 things real quick. One thing I really liked about that episode was they left the door open. They didn't say, oh, Scootaloo will be all right. You'll be able to fly pretty soon. Rainbow Dash said, maybe you will and maybe you won't, which was great. It left it open. Also, the only little complaint I had was how quick the other 2 CMC turned on him when she was having problems. Like, okay, fine, see ya, bye.
Oh, it wasn't that quick. I mean, they did kind of have to put up with her bullcrap for a little while.
Yeah, I think it was kind of decent the way that it worked, because you can only push your friends so hard, and then at some point you get into your own arrogance that they retaliate from that. So
yeah, and
it seemed
has been shown to not be very tolerant of other ponies' bullcrap.
I was just thinking that the CMC walking out, they're getting frustrated with watching Scootaloo try over and over again. It's probably like all the times that you have that one guy that's drunk that's just like, nope, just give me another shot. I got this. Nope, hold on. I got this.
No, I'm totally good, man. I'm just gonna 3 more shots, man.
Dude, hold my beer and watch this.
Well, that's when that happens. You just let that happen.
How many great YouTube videos have always talked about, here, hold my beer and watch this?
We wouldn't have nearly the amount of fail compilations that we do.
You know, I don't know why, but that 300-pound bouncer over there is really ticking me off.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm a belly flop on this cactus because it looks like fun.
Why are they all Southern?
Because my people are the people of drunken idiocy.
I thought that was the Irish.
Really?
So are we still on strong points, weak points here, or are we going down to best episode so far?
I don't think we identified any weak points. Are there weak points in this show so far? I can think that personally,
I can think of one right offhand.
Personally, I think I think there's occasionally like a little bit of loss of logic. Like, I think the most immediate thing I thought of was when Princess Celestia and Luna disappeared and the guards just came over to Twilight Sparkle and was like, okay, so, well, you're in charge. We have no idea what to do. There are no contingency plans.
Well, of course they don't know what to do. They're officers.
Ooh.
Lord knows. I mean, how many enlisted soldiers are there in Equestria? They all seem to be lieutenants. They all run around like no idea what's going on. When's the last time you saw a Royal Guard do something competent? You haven't, because they're all officers.
Wow. Just laying it down hard.
From my experience,
I've been deployed twice. I've seen some serious idiocy come from lieutenants. Now, at the same time, I'm a drill sergeant, so I've seen serious idiocy from privates. I'm just saying.
Privates have an excuse, though. They're privates.
Exactly. They don't know any better. Well, lieutenants are kind of the privates of the officer world, so.
That's very
they're
true.
So cute and adorable, though.
Hey, what's the difference between a PFC and a second lieutenant?
What's that?
One's been promoted.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's basically a whole tons of jokes you can make about lieutenants. It's really a running gag in the Terminal Lance line where it's like that lieutenants are constantly called boots, which is the Marine equivalent of noob.
Never thought of it that way, but that's all right. Silver, what was your thought of something weak on this season so far?
Yeah, it would. I mean, it's not really a big complaint. It's still early in the season, but during the premiere, the whole well, really the concentration on the episode was, ooh, the box, ooh, we got to go find the keys. And since then, nothing. I mean, I don't want them to cram the whole quest in like the last 2 episodes. I'd like to see a little bit of arc on it. Like every character maybe have a little mini quest to find their own key or something would be great.
Yeah, I wonder, though, if that relates to the audience, though. Because I remember Megan McCarthy and Amy Keating-Rogers were saying that, they specifically write the show so that, at the very least, that the kids will be able to understand it and follow along. I'm not sure if you wrote a 20-episode arc on this mysterious box that especially kids, would be able to follow along with it. So I think that might just be like a writer's, that might just be a writing sacrifice. Like maybe on the 5th or 6th episode, we'll every like 3 or 4 episodes we'll get something related to the box. Like, oh yeah, the box exists. They are making an arc for at least the castle, so there's at least some sort of arc going on.
I also noticed that if you look on the wiki, they don't have writers listed all the way till the 26th episode, and then Megan McCarthy's written in as the season finale writer. So I don't know if they're going to hold it on till the end or what.
Well, she's also she's the lead writer for this whole thing. So
right.
And the way that the writers were talking about how they actually come up with the scripts in BronyCon, and you can check it out in our interviews. The freelance writers all get together all at once, and they start like assigning out the scripts to write, and then they go ahead and they do like a first, second draft, submit it, and then they're done. Like it's just fucking gone. Like M.A. Larson says his piece, and it leaves his hand. He gets paid, and that's it. It disappears.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then the leading writers go ahead and actually modify stuff. And it was Larson who was saying that because of the way that he works as a freelance writer, sometimes he gets surprised when he's credited or not credited with an episode. He was saying that there was one show that he worked for where they credited him on an episode he didn't write, but he was in the room in the writers' meeting that they had for like 2 days, and he suggested the idea of the episode, and they just credited him the whole thing or something like that. So there's a bit of this stuff going around. Like, as a matter of fact, me and Josh were talking about who wrote this episode. Was it Megan McCarthy or Merriwether? Because both the wiki in MLP and Wikipedia.us have different results. And
well,
it's
I
like,
I watched it, and it said written by Megan McCarthy in the credits. So I don't know if, like you said, if that was an M.A. Larson thing or what. On the wiki, I think, was written ahead of time, but the credits actually said Megan McCarthy.
yeah, well, the Wikipedia page actually had a link to the press release where they said that McCarthy was the writer and the co-director and all this other stuff, and then Merriwether was also an additional writer. So it might have been that maybe, and then the MLP wiki said that McCarthy was the one who came up with the idea of the show. Of course, like it was named, I guess according to it, it was supposed to be just like cats instead of bats.
Exactly.
Give the military some credit. We at least have an organized chain of command.
So I guess she was like the idea creator, and she may have helped fill out the rest of the script with Merriwether. But it's the way that it's set up is really confusing on who should be getting credit for what. So
yeah, and like Power Ponies has 3 writers credited. One of them's from Johnny Test.
Right.
Other than that, I'm pretty satisfied with they could, we had I won't say anything with tweaking here, but I'm pretty satisfied with the season so far. Doesn't seem quite as rushed as season 3 did.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love season 4, but I can't comment on whether it's the best season or whatever until
it's finished.
No, it's going to be finished, and then it's going to be a few months so I can have the whole new pony, oh my gosh, new pony, die down, and then we'll be able to kind of objectively judge it.
Oh yeah, they did say something about having a male alicorn this season.
What?
I hope it's Sombra. That would actually be kind of awesome. All right, that's
fail.
Okay,
Princess Big Mac. I really hope not.
Okay, retrospective time. Because we're coming up on the end of the year. Stuff you enjoyed that you might want to bring up again, remind people exist, like some of maybe some toys or some pieces that came out real good, or some music or some art or some videos, and then we can talk about the convention scene that happened as a retrospective at the end of that. For example, I think everybody might remember this, but the Luna animatic that had been going on for like 2 or 3 years, that animation mixed with that song, I think it was from Hocus Pocus.
Well, the thing is that about the song, yes, you're right. The tune is from Hocus Pocus, but the actual lyrics for the song, they're actually from a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. No pun intended, poem. So what the singer basically did was took the melody from Hocus Pocus, changed it into a key that she could sing in, and just sing the lyrics of the poem, which really works actually. If you actually read the actual poem, it's kind of hard to read it not with that tune.
Yeah, honestly,
okay,
she did the best. I'm sorry. Honestly, I actually bought, like, the lady who sang that. I actually bought her album because I thought it was so freaking good. Even though her voice cracks once in it, she does like only kind of this mythological, like Celtic kind of sound, and she did like the whole thing herself.
The voice crack actually helped.
Yeah, it kind of does. It's weird in that way, but yeah, I think she did it better than I think the Hocus Pocus one is. So.
Okay, but I have to say this again. Luna's climbing in your window, snatching your ponies up, and trying to take them. So you need to hide your foes, hide your bears, and hide your stallions because she's taking everybody out here.
Well, let me play a little bit of devil's advocate here. She was kind of, I'm guessing this is like sometime after they imprisoned Discord, and so it's
1 year later.
This is the time where the conflict, the rift between them, has slowly gotten worse and worse, and the whole poverty thing I thought they introduced was pretty interesting because, you know, in a revolution, things don't. In a revolution, both sides take losses, and the people who take the biggest losses are the people who inhabit the place of battle. France can attest to that. And the thing is that Luna wanted wanted an immediate solution, and assuming the rift between them grew, that this was the last straw. She's doing something because she truly feels it's right. And Celestia, she just wants to wade through the problems. So it's really an idealism versus realism conflict that this animation is shooting at us.
Yeah, it's still all speculation though, because we were given nothing.
Well, the description had quite a bit of information. If we go to Cartoon Duo's page, they talk about Luna only took orphan ponies or homeless ponies that answered her call. That's why the other 3 in that room didn't wake up, and she wanted to save their life. Basically, Celestia knew there was homeless ponies and didn't really do anything about it.
Oh, so Celestia's a tyrant. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Not really. She just wanted to wade through the problems because she felt that dividing the country would create more problems than solve them.
Well, that's my biggest problem. Same problem I had with that fanfiction Mortal is a completely character assassination of Celestia. Oh yeah, she's a tyrant who doesn't care about anyone. Yeah, sure, fine.
A million years dungeon.
Yeah, there's other things about that animation that kind of threw me for a loop. It's like let's actually have a document. So let's see if I can find it.
Well, we could also go over all the other stuff because it was a pretty significant video that everybody's pretty much seen. But I mean, like, what else out there stuck out in your minds that you guys might want to remind everybody exists or came out this season or this year?
But it's been pretty well beaten to death, I think.
Yeah. 3D printing is starting to become a pretty big thing, and there's lots of people doing 3D printed models and offering them for sale. But as you can see, with we had the whole issue with Hasbro's models receiving a cease and desist on whatever the printing website was that he uses. But basically, people are out there. They're still making 3D printed models. They're usually better than the show toys that are officially coming out. So if you happen to find someone that's selling the 3D prints, you might want to hop on that soon and not wait.
Yeah, I know that one of the vendors at BronyCon was offering the alicorn amulets. Like they had both done like actual pony models and like alicorn amulets that were 3D printed metal models. So they weren't even just a plastic kind. They actually like create some sort of crazy molding technique or something like that. But yeah, and they were saying like it cost them like $3,000 or something like that, or $30,000. They do like other things on the side, but I guess they also wanted to do ponies as well. So that stuff doesn't.
Do you remember?
Oh god, they were fucking expensive as hell. Like it was like I remember on the BronyCon post, there's a unicorn amulet which is definitely going for like $30 or something like that. But I know that the real fucking pristine models were going for like $85, like $100. Like the ones made entirely out of like some sort of metal or reflective metal, not like aluminum, but some sort of like polished copper or iron or something like that. We're actually going for quite a bit of money. I don't remember the name of the guy who made some though. I'm not sure I got a business card from him.
I just don't understand you people in merch. I don't get it.
Well, I didn't buy it.
Merch? Need merch.
I only really care about plushies.
I have 2 plushies now.
I don't
I'm so glad.
plushies. It's like maybe 1 or 2 shirts I could understand, but just all this merchandise, I don't get it.
It's about the swag.
No, I honestly didn't get it either until I went to Las Vegas Unicon. It's like, you know what? I have expendable income. I want to blow it on some stupid shit. Might as well be ponies.
Piggy's not stupid.
Okay.
You had a great
We go again.
daughter, I guess.
Yeah, anyways, going back to Children of the Night, it's, sorry to derail this, but there's just a couple questions in there that kind of go unaddressed. It's like, at the beginning, why is this pony monologuing to herself? What is the purpose of her writing in that journal? And why did Luna only kidnap 1 dozen foals if she wanted to found a new colony? Was she planning on taking 2 trips? Why just children? Wouldn't some adults want in on this whole new colony thing? What happened to the children after the whole 1,000 years thing? Did the children just stay on the moon and die? Were they also imprisoned in a spectral catatonic state for a millennium like Luna? If so, where are they? Did Luna just forget about them after she came back? How were they able to make a fire at the beginning? Is there even oxygen or wood on the moon?
Anyways, there's other news we can also cover. I don't think anyone can address those. Seriously, I don't think anyone can address those. Would we like to move on if there's nothing else?
Go for it.
Okay. This past week, in world history, Kalishnikov died, the man who created the AK-47. And I've been hearing some crazy jazz about the AK-47 that I think, as people who understand firearms, we ought to discuss. For example...
AK-47. When you absolutely positively have to kill every motherfucker in the room, except no substitutes.
I disagree. Full auto is overrated.
Okay, someone please tell me they got that reference.
No.
No one seen, you uncultured swine, no one seen Jackie Brown?
Never heard of it.
No, I heard of it, but I never saw it.
It's Tarantino's movie after Reservoir Dogs, but before Pulp Fiction.
I'm not much of a Tarantino fan, so...
Yeah, kind of
Not me either, but it was really good.
Besides, if you were really going to like destroy everything in a room, I would think an auto shotty would work better. Even if it's like just 20 gauge.
Even Silvermane didn't get the reference, and he went to the theater premiere of Metropolis.
He was actually in it.
I totally did. 1912. Fritz Lang for the win.
Okay, so... I've been told by the internet that the AK-47 is the best assault rifle ever made. True or false?
False.
Yeah, I'm calling false on this.
Best thing ever made?
Best assault rifle.
I mean, here's the thing. What made the AK so popular is that it's simple and it's cheap to make. Literally, like unlike the M4 or the M16, an AK, you could drop it in mud and it will still fire.
Yeah, it's sturdy. It's a sturdy rifle.
Exactly. That, and it's very cheap to make. You can make it very, for very little cost. That's what made it so popular. So if you want to say like it changed the face of warfare in that it was easy for anyone and any nation to actually make a assault rifle, then yeah, and it has some decent stopping power, but it lacks accuracy.
Yeah, the recoil on that thing sucks.
I mean, it doesn't. It is just a straight percussion bolt system. It's a 7.62 weapon, and it's the thing that handles recoil is a big wood stock. So, but this is probably the earlier versions. The thing about the dumping it in mud and water and all that stuff. One of the reasons that happens is because most of the mud and the water will leave the system because it's engineered enough and it's engineered loosely enough that whatever debris goes into it can go directly back out of it, like Swiss cheese. But when it comes to like dumping your M16 in the water's not fucking coming out. It's going to stay in the bolt, and that's going to be the problem. In addition to that, it'll still fire your AK once you put it in mud and water, but I don't think it's going to hit anything very accurately after you pull it out of the water or the mud, because then it's still going to have dirt and grime on the bolt system and inside the chamber and everything else. It'll still operate, but I wouldn't trust its accuracy at that point. And it is accurate to its point target range of 300 yards on that first shot, but it's not exactly something I would want to rely on after I put it in mud. Silvermane, you got something for the AK?
Not me, bro. I fired one once. That's about it.
Oh, okay. I would say though that most of the AKs that people buy or at least the world has purchased are like the Chinese knockoff versions or the crappy Russian versions. But I think if you were to go purchase an AK-47 from like an American gun manufacturer or from Russia today, I think it would probably be a more improved weapon design. And not to mention the AK-47 is dying out in popularity even among the Russians. They're kind of switching over to the AK-74, which has a smaller round, is a little bit lighter. And it's pretty much just a better weapon system for them as an assault rifle. But I don't think it really is anywhere near some of the best assault rifles that exist today, or ever really. Comments?
I'm just not a fan of the AK-47 in general, just because it's an automatic weapon and it's very inaccurate. I don't care. It's just I prefer single shot. I don't even like burst fire. I prefer single shot because I just like being able to hit something. I like being able to conserve ammo. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, the weird thing about the AK is like it's a sacrifice between what we now identify as battle rifles and regular assault rifles, like an M4. So it's like something that's the size of an M4 but has the kick of a M14 as a battle rifle. So it doesn't make a good compromise. And some of the stuff you would say about the kick that an M14 has is pretty freaking ridiculous because it's really a rifle that you can take into battle with you, but it's not something you want to assault buildings with because it's enormous. And even the kind of mini combat versions they deployed out during the Vietnam War were still oversized even at that time. So
yeah, it's just I fired multiple light machine guns. They're all really overrated. You can't aim for crap with those things.
Yeah, well, I think that's what HK is trying to do with the 416, the HK 416, which is basically a version of the M4 but with a percussion bolt system, and you can fire it with some accuracy and a bipod on full auto. So I know the Marine Corps was still testing that when I was in Afghanistan, and the I spoke to the armorers there, and they fucking adored the whole thing because they were still having accuracy at 500 yards. Okay, so last topic that we can cover. Basically, we've covered all the retrospective stuff. All right, Silvermane, convention retrospective. What do you want to talk about on that?
Yeah, well, first of all, I guess apparently I'm the convention killer because I went to 4 conventions this year and 3 of them aren't coming back. But other than that, it's been a fairly good year. I think what I predicted 2 years ago is starting to happen. We're starting to shake out a little bit, and we're going to probably end up with 5, maybe 6 big conventions reoccurring every year, and then there'll be 1 or 2 small ones that show up and then you don't ever see again.
Ugh, why do we need so many?
Well, 4 or 5 really isn't that many if you look at like anime or something. It's a tiny amount. I think the VAs are starting to get a little bit tired of, because people like Jared Strong go to a lot more conventions, just pony conventions. So we're going to start seeing maybe less VAs just going to bigger conventions is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just thinking about the VAs and the staffers having to go to like 12 different conventions a year. This is kind of ridiculous.
Except for Andrea Liebman, and she's a robot.
Sorry?
Well, it does give them an advantage because they can make a lot of direct profit off of us and off of like sales that they might be making at these conventions. So it's kind of like a hit or miss thing of how much do they want to improve their income versus how much time do they really have to like throw around basically doing work. So I know that the comic book artists, I would think, they don't get paid very much, and I would think that these conventions are big for them, but maybe for some of the VAs, they're already doing a lot of work with a lot of different shows. I think you are right that the conventions are going to start to come down. I can definitely see that there's 2 solid ones, Everfree Northwest and BronyCon, which seem to be solidly in the head of we will probably stick around for a while. They're probably the 2 of those 5. Here's hoping that
staying. BronyCon is definitely staying.
Yeah.
EQLA, I thought so, but they're not coming back for 2014. They're doing a 1-year hiatus.
Yeah, I think that the best thing that could happen is we need to have 1 big convention per area. So I think it should be BronyCon, Everfree Northwest, Fiesta Equestria, and then maybe 1 more in sort of the north. But other than that, I mean, we really need to stop having so many conventions because, like you said, it's burning people out.
Like what? 1 in Chicago or something?
Well, something like that, yeah.
TrotCon's fairly close.
Well, yeah, but TrotCon's never going to be that big. It's not even their intention to be like that. They're mainly about like organize the Brony community, and I think that's like what you're going to see. Is you're going to see. I don't think you're going to see 5 major conventions. I think you're going to see like 2 or 3 at max, and then you're going to see a bunch of these little like 500 attendee or 1,000 attendee conventions that'll still occur. There'll be the TrotCons and the Canterlot Gardens of the world running around, and those are okay.
How many people attended BronyCon this year?
You mean?
I want to say like 7,900. I put it in the post. It was like either yeah. Those are
120 exactly.
So you're saying like 1,000 to 2,000 people, like it was a small number. And I'm like, man, the BronyCon I went to was like 4,000 cap, and that was a lot of people.
Well, that was 2,000 more than they expected. They expected 6,000 to 8,000. We're hoping for over 10,000 this year.
Over 9,000. I did it again.
Sorry, Tweak.
As much as I liked Fiesta Equestria, it's probably not coming back because there's been a big drama that they split up. They started 2 different websites, and one guy quit and the other one got booted out, so I really don't know what's going to happen with that one.
Ugh, Brony politics.
I know,
It's
exactly.
the worst.
Las Pegasus.
Don't remind me. Don't remind us of that.
There's a reason that convention has a little bit longer of a stripe on our guidon. It's a unique experience.
Famous. It's like it was like landing at Normandy Beach. Were you there at Las Vegas? That's 10 years from now. People will be asking that.
You don't understand what it was like.
You were there. You didn't see what I saw.
I've seen some shit. There were cupcakes everywhere.
We got the 1,000 convention stare.
And the frosting. Oh, heavens above the frosting.
Oh, God, we could make a lot of jokes about this.
I was always thinking about, what was it? Not Full Metal Jacket. What was that one we started out, Saigon? I'm still in Saigon.
Oh, yeah. Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, you go. Las Vegas. I'm still in Las Vegas.
I love the smell of frosting in the morning. Tastes like
Smells like
victory.
victory.
You just see Spangle running off stage. There's an explosion behind him. It's just the scene from Platoon.
But really, everybody jokes about it. But until Sunday afternoon, I had a blast there.
Yeah, it really wasn't that the con was bad. It was that it just fucking crashed and burned real hard at the end.
And real fast, yeah. And then, what was so nice about it, all the bronies came together. We did the Las Pegasus, the VAs did the emergency autograph thing, and we really that was the first time I'd actually seen Everfree Northwest and PVL and other people work together. I mean,
it lasted first.
And
Yeah, that was
probably
pretty cool to
last.
watch.
Bronies can always work together if they can choose to. All right, so
true friend helps a friend in need.
okay.
I've heard that somewhere.
All right. Since you did the lead in, Josh, do you want to do the lead out?
Well, usually all the lead outs that I do involve a giant planetary explosion, but for this case, I think I'll tone it down a bit. All right, this is Josh Scorcher representing FOB Equestria. We also have Navron, Soundtrahood, Silvermane, Tweak, and we are saying Semper Fi, my bronies, and good night, and Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays, and Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you happen to celebrate, even though it's past that. Bye!
You still forgot New Year? Happy New Year.
And happy hearthswarming.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
How dare you?
Stay safe, stay free, stay metal, watch ponies.